September 14th, 2020. If you're watching on YouTube, you can watch live on Twitch if you'd like at twitch.tv/GM Benjamin Feingold. Then you can participate in the stream more. Today we updated the hours of this stream. So I stream 7 days a week, and from now on I'll be streaming more often. New hours starting tomorrow. Monday 7 to 11. These are all PM Eastern time. So Monday 7 to 11, Tuesday 8 to 11, Wednesday 8 to 11, Thursday 3 to 7, Friday I think is 7 to 11. Let me check. I'm trying to do it from memory, but that didn't work. No, Friday's 8 to 11. Saturday 8 to 11, and Sunday 5 to 9. So Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday are the same, 8 to 11. Oh, and Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday are 8 to 11, which I didn't know. So I have 4 days that are the same. Monday 7 to 11, Thursday's 3 to 7, and Sunday's 5 to 9. So it's a 24 hours of streaming per week, assuming I stick to the schedule, which I won't. Now, for those of you who were here yesterday, about the last hour of the stream, Yasser came into the chat. And when he came into the chat, I thought it was a 0% chance he was Yasser. Then the way he answered the questions I asked and other people asked, then I was 90% sure. And then when he emailed me after the stream and the next 10 emails, I'm sure it's Yasser. So Yasser wants to come on the stream at some point in the next couple of weeks. We'll do it through Zoom or Skype or something. And he'll be lurking in the chat occasionally, so he'll be chatting. But he's interested in, Twitch, and he was having fun, so he might as well have fun. This stream's a little late for him, but he might be lurking, if he can't sleep, he always might be lurking in the chat. Of course, it's 6 hours later where Yasser is to where I am, so probably only Thursdays and Sundays would he be interested in doing something because he'll be awake. Otherwise, he probably won't be awake. But he might be lurking anyway if he has trouble sleeping. Tomorrow, the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz starts, and Yasser's doing commentary. So he's sort of busy the next 5 days. Also, the U.S. Chess Federation and the St. Louis Chess Club just announced the U.S. Championship, U.S. Senior Championship, U.S. Women's Championship, U.S. Junior Championship will be held at the same time in about a month online in a very strange format. 3 days, 3 rounds a day, rapid. So they're all 10-player round robins, and they're all going to be finished in 3 days. I was hoping, since last year, that I would get invited to the U.S. Senior Championship, but so far I'm 0 for 2. I wasn't invited last year, and I wasn't invited this year. They invite by rating, and I think they had one wild card, and somebody qualified from the Senior Tournament of Champions. So I'm sort of like between number 10 and 15 of getting invited, and I think they only invited 8 by rating. So I'm sort of close, but my USDF and FIDE ratings probably aren't going to change. So anyway, Patrick Wolf was invited and accepted, which surprised me. But it is a 3-day online event, so I guess anybody can play. He hasn't played a rated game since before you guys were born. Spencer subscribed. Hooray, go Spencer. Yeah. That's right. He doesn't know what Twitch is, and he was still here. I think he was like just wandering around in the internet confused, and he was like, what is this? Why is Ben talking on the internet? He's very confused. And then they sat him down and gave him some cocoa, and they said, this is Twitch. And he said, well, I know I'm twitching. I'm 60. What are you doing? And he's like, no, not you. This is a platform. And he says, platform where? But anyway, we convinced him that it was okay. To prove he's older than me, he sent me an email. That was amazing. So, yeah. I should play in the National Senior Tourney. Actually, Kieran, I was going to drink out of a toilet bowl, but then I decided that was slightly worse than playing in the National Senior Tourney. Yeah, they actually changed the name of it to the National COVID Tourney. COVID. That's right. No, when Yasser comes on the stream, he is going to talk about the game Karpov. That is correct. Okay. It's going to be one of the greatest. By the way, there could have been a game, Kasparov. Let me refresh the stream because I don't see how many people are watching or the train, if there is a train. No, there's no train. I was tricked. Okay. Also, let's see. What was I going to say about Yasser? I forgot already. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was talking about Kasparov because there's two GMs named Kasparov. There's Gary Kasparov and there's Sergei Kasparov. Sergei Kasparov's rating is similar to mine, although I think he's higher, but it's close. Yeah. You have already done Yasser games in April. What's your point? I can do Yasser games whenever I want. It's my stream. Hi, Sweden. It is 3:02, although it's 3:03 now. That's correct. Yeah. All right. So are you going to be any Yasser? There's going to be only Yasser impressions. Yeah. No, I'm not playing people today, Grandmaster Cool. So I play people on Saturday and Sunday. So come back on Saturday. Okay. Well, I could ban you until Saturday and then unban you. Does somebody want to ban him until Saturday? Anybody? No? All right. 100 Sensitus. Hooray. Yeah. That's right. Let's see. What else? You only play Yasser in U.S. championships. Who, me? Let's see. I played him in the 1994 U.S. championship, the 1999 U.S. championship, and somewhere between 2011 and 15. Maybe 12? Yeah, you're right. I've played him 3 times, all in U.S. championships. That's right. Yeah. Hi there, Yasser. Exactly. Yasser could be in the chat, so you might as well always just say hi to him in case he's lurking. Yeah. Now, me, Karen, and Yasser trying to get him on the stream. We got 2 50-year-olds and a 60-year-old trying to figure out how to get somebody on Zoom or Twitch, so it's going to be funny. I think what's going to happen is we're going to take a photo of him with one of those huge cameras and then the smoke, and then it'll be developed in about a year. It'll be sent here by boat, and then there'll be a donkey, and then a year later I'll show you a picture of Yasser. I think that's how we're going to get him on the stream. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Yasser's probably asleep. It is 3 a.m. I said probably. All right. So we're going to as I said, we're going to have a new streaming schedule 4 days a week starting tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming from 8 to 11. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. That's p.m. Eastern, obviously. Monday, 7 to 11. That's more than it used to be. Thursday, 3 to 7. That's more. And Sunday's the same, 5 to 9. Now, the Saturday hours may change depending on family situations. And also, it's possible with almost no notice in the next 30 to 40 days or sooner, I'll be going up to Michigan to visit family. And I might not give you a lot of notice for that. But okay, if I'm not streaming for 4 days, then I'm not. Yeah. Yeah. 100 Sensitus, Jude, New York City. You can't give me money. You're like 6 years old. I'll get arrested over here. Did you turn 7 yet? Was your birthday yesterday? Something. Let's see. Let me give you the European time streams, assuming the time doesn't change, which it's going to do in the next month. So the stream is going to start Monday for CEST, 1 a.m. Monday, 2 a.m. Tuesday, 2 a.m. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Thursday. 9. On Thursday, my stream will start in Germany at 9. Then Friday at 2 a.m. Is that right? Yeah. Saturday, 2 a.m. and Sunday at 11 p.m. So if you live in Europe and you like watching my stream, Thursday's your best bet and Sunday is your second best bet. Those are good times to see Yasser because he might be watching the stream then because he's also in Europe. So, like that. Now, probably I'm going to get banned from Twitch by saying that Yasser lives in Europe, giving away his home continent. No! Terrible. Although he's 60, so I guess it's better to give away his home continent than if he's incontinent. So, didn't realize you analyzed games, wrecked your subs. That's on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. You played Yasser. You played nobody. Let's see. I am 10. I used to be 10. I was 10 before your grandfather was born. Yeah. You played Yasser in your dreams and apologized. That's correct. I worked night shifts. Also good. Yeah. We love Yasser. That is correct. Yeah. My content is pretty good. Yeah. It's 2 a.m. in Ireland? That's right. I wasn't sure what time it was, but then I asked, come on, Ben, complete the joke. I completed the joke, but it was like 10 seconds too late. But then I asked Golden Earring, who are also from the Netherlands, like Yasser, unless they're from Germany. And they said it was 2 a.m. also. Is Golden Earring Dutch? I thought they were Dutch. What do you guys think? Somebody tell me if Golden Earring is Dutch. At least I know it's 2 a.m. Radar Love. No, that's the wrong group. No. Radar Love. 2 people said Radar Love? What? Dutch, yeah. Radar Love isn't Golden Earring, is it? At 2 a.m. isn't... Why are 2 people saying Radar Love? What's going on here? What am I missing? Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. What? Is it? I'm thinking of the Twilight Zone song. That's not It's 2 a.m.? Right. Definitely Radar Love. What? I'm confused. And I'm reading the chat, I'm getting more confused. So this isn't helping me. Right, Radar Love and Twilight Zone are Golden Earring songs. I agree. But where he says it's 2 a.m., I thought that was Twilight Zone. That's Radar Love? Right. So why are people saying Radar Love? Like, why are they saying Radar Love? They're just naming another song by Golden Earring? What was the point of that? What? False Hope is giving me false hope with this raid. Thanks, False Hope. Right, but when I said 2 a.m. and I said that's the song Twilight Zone, you said no Radar Love. What? What's going on? You just randomly named another Golden Earring song for no reason? And then you're like, it's Radar Love. Roar! Why would you name their second best song instead of the best song that I named with the correct lyric? I said they were Dutch. I said everything. You're all banned. All of you. Yeah. I've never been so mad. Also, today's Monday, so the week started, so there's no gift subs. Boo! I blame Chest with Ovi. I already drank my first period. This is the second one. It's terrible. No, I didn't say Radar Love wasn't by them. I'm not talking about Radar Love. I'm talking about, I said it's 2 a.m. Well, the guy said it was 2 a.m. Yeah. All right. Tried to ban everyone. Yeah. Now, first of all, before we continue, because I'm going to start banning people, we agree that Radar Love is not as good a song as Twilight Zone. I mean, we have to agree to that first, that Twilight Zone's a better song. If you think that Radar Love's a better song, let me know in the chat so I can ban you. Yeah. Let's see. Yasser, crushing someone, fantasy. How to handle, yeah. I always wear merch shirts. What are you talking about? What? All right. Everybody's always confused. I mean, basically everything I said was right. Everything you guys said was wrong. Then you were like, no, radar love. Come on. Terrible. Yay, roar. I'm mad. Okay, exactly. Well, I am Schmoopy. You know, Schmoopy had COVID. COVID. She's over it now, and she's married to Stephanopoulos, and Stephanopoulos is the guy who said that the book, Sasha's book, is good. Sasha Chapin, the guy who wrote the book and talked about me and Karen. So actually, we are Schmoopy. Yeah, complicated. Yeah. I'll get on with the games when I want to, not when you tell me to. All right, you're timed out. I was going to ban you, but, I'm nice today. Yeah. I have to go listen to Twilight Zone. I'm not sure what song that is. Maybe this is the Twilight Zone. On Seinfeld, there's an episode where Jerry's talking about Twilight Zone. He says, remember that episode where this happened and that happened? And they go, which episode was that? And Seinfeld said it was all of them. So. Twitchy1322 gifted 5 subs. Hooray! Yeah. Twilight Zone is slightly better. I mean, come on. Yeah. I'm going to hit and transfer. They talked about the boy from New York City, right? No, today we're going to look at Yasser's games from 19 Dickety. All of these games have already been analyzed on the stream, but it doesn't matter. We love Yasser. So basically, this stream is going to turn into the Yasser stream. I'm only going to look at Yasser games forever. This stream, the next one. Yasser's going to come on the stream. I'm going to change my name to Yasser, and that's it. When Yasser travels abroad and travels to other countries, why does he always have a problem at the border? Let's see if you guys know why. He always gets randomly selected. Always. And his wife just goes home. She's like, bye, Yasser. See you at home. Do you guys know why? No, it's not his name. His name doesn't help. It doesn't help, but there's something in his passport where they randomly select him. That's correct. That is correct. You guys taking all of your chats and putting them together? Right. No, not Iran. Yeah. Yeah, his passport says born in Syria. So once it does that and he's traveling to another country, he's randomly selected for further questioning. He's always randomly selected for further questioning. And they ask him, when's the last time you were in Syria? And he's like, when I was 6 months old. Why were you born in Syria? What's wrong with you? Yeah. Randomly selected. Yeah. That's right. The scary door is correct. Let's see. Twilight Zone is winning. Yay. Poll ended. That was a good poll. That's right. We're going to look at the end of that game, Ivysaur. Yasser told me a lot about that game. When I told Yasser I was doing his best games tonight, he said, no, you can't do my best games because my best games aren't published. My best games are from the American Open and the World Open and the whatever. Those games aren't published. And I was thinking, nobody cares about when you beat, some IM and you played like a genius. They want to see you beat Kasparov and Karpov and Tal and Fischer and Morphy and Botvinnik and Capablanca. Those games are published. Right. So even though, wait, somebody actually bought something. Username. What? Now I'm confused. How did it come out if Karen didn't buy it? And if Karen bought it, why does it say Boberson? I'm so confused now. Did you do that, Karen, or that wasn't you? I don't understand. How did Karen buy something not using the name Boberson? And if it wasn't Karen, how did it show up? Either way is impossible. I can't wait for Karen to tell me the answer. How did Karen do it? That's right. If Washington wins the Super Bowl this year, Trying to Learn pointed out, if I say, Siri, who won the Super Bowl, it'll say the football team won the Super Bowl. So, yeah. All right, Karen's not talking. I don't know if somebody actually bought something. It's unlikely. Okay, so let's don't forget to donate because you guys forget a lot. You guys don't remember stuff. I'm streaming more often now so we don't get kicked out of our home. Although, if we do get kicked out of our home, then we can live here. Jude gave 70 cents. You did talk. No, I asked you if you bought that or somebody else did, and you didn't answer. What do you mean? I asked you like twice, too. No, still not going to tell me? Damn. Either way, it makes no sense. I did scroll up. It's not there. You probably thought you typed it and you didn't. That must be what it is. Yes, if saying scroll up, you could have just said who did it. All right. It's not there. Darn. Anybody? Did somebody buy something? No? Was it Karen? Nobody? I've seen the Lions ending every game for 40 years. So, the Lions always lose the same way. That's how they do it. They were making fun of the Lions and the Bengals on PTI, trying to decide if the endings of those games were more Lions-like or Bengals-like. The Bengals missed a 31-yard field goal to lose the game, and the Lions dropped a touchdown that hit both the guy in the middle of his hands to win the game. So it was very suspicious. Let's see. Okay, but so my next question, Karen, although I didn't see any of that in the chat, is how did somebody buy something and it said they did if you didn't do it first? Because the first time doesn't work. So how did the first time work? You see what I'm saying? How did we see that? That doesn't make any sense. You initialized it today. Ooh. Oh, you don't have to do it while I'm streaming as long as you pretend to buy something at some point? That's a good idea. Ooh, a test. Yeah, that is a good idea. Yeah. It's too bad that guy can't fix his software. Okay, so we have 7 Yasser games, I think. Or is it 6? I think it's 7. Yeah. No, Karen did well because then she did the... yeah. Ah, okay, that was good. All right, we have 300 viewers. So we're going to have Yasser on the stream in the next 2 weeks. But if you can't wait to see Yasser, you can watch the St. Louis Chess Club commentary either on YouTube or Twitch. It's going to be the usual gang of Jennifer, Maurice, and Yasser. And as you all know, although some of you probably don't, the next tournament is starting for St. Louis. They had the 960 chess tournament, and that's done. And now they're going to have a Rapid and Blitz that's going to take more days, probably a week. And Kasparov's not playing, and Jeffrey Shong is playing. And I don't know if any of the other players are different. Maybe there's another player who's, I don't know. But all I know is Jeffrey Zhang's playing and Kasparov is not. It's possible the other 9 players are the same, but I doubt it.
Merch approved by Karen.
What? Now, wait a minute. I want to see who this is. What? Heinz Superman. The more merch you buy, the more merch that you have in your house, and we have money. Yeah. Anyway, let's all hope somebody decides they can't play in the senior next month, and then let's hope they invite me as an alternate. Neither one of those things will happen, but if it does, then it'll happen. Okay, this game was played in 1990. It's one of Pat's favorite games, maybe. I don't know. Yasser was white. So let's see. If 1990 was 30 years ago, I'm not saying that it is, and Yasser 60, then he was probably 30 during this game. Makes sense. Yeah, something like that. So this game was played half of his life ago. So we have sort of a Queen's Indian Nimzo-Indian hybrid. And Yasser likes to go his own way in these openings, and that's because in 1990, people had still heard of Fleetwood Mac, and you could go your own way. Now they don't know what that is, but 1990, they remembered a little bit. Okay, and Yasser played Queen B3, which is very unusual. Obviously, that's attacking the bishop. Okay, so Timon played C5, A3, and I guess, bishop takes C3 makes the most sense to me. Now, Timon is quite well booked up and has his own variations and such. So when Timon's in the first 10, 15 moves of the game, it's very likely he still is in his preparation. He doesn't get tricked easily. Now, as you all know, and by that I mean like one of you probably knows it, in 1989, there was a rapid tournament in France by the sponsor Emopar. I don't know who Emopar is, but they were the sponsor. And it was really strong players. I mean, basically, the 16 best players in the world played a knockout. And Timon obviously wasn't the favorite. He beat in succession Kamsky, Anand, Karpov, and Kasparov, although not in that order. Although maybe in that order. It might have been Kamsky, Karpov, Anand, Kasparov. And if the match was tied after 2 or 4 games, I forgot how many games it was, then they would have a playoff, and none of the matches were tied. Timon won every match in regulation. He didn't go to overtime in any of the 4 matches. So in 89, Timon was pretty good, and he was a candidate for the World Championship, and he played for the World Championship against Karpov when Kasparov and Short and Kramnik had their own nonsense going. So then Karpov had his own nonsense going with FIDE. It could have been 91. I don't know. Okay, I'm just making up years anyway. That's right. Jan Timman, the greatest Dutch player of all time. Okay, Timman played bishop a5, computer recommended, maintaining the pin. I pin you, you pin me. Then he played knight c6. And I worked with Kasparov in China, as you may have noted from the last stream. Kasparov likes to castle... Saruman, did I say Kasparov before? Saruman likes to castle queenside and Nimzo-Indians, which most people don't like to do. But, he plays his own way. And now, after bishop takes c3, because the knight's not pinned anymore, so it's probably a good idea to take the knight, Yasser played the excellent move recommended by this current engine, d5. This actually reminds me of the gambit in the Gioco Piano Italian when they play c3, d4, take, bishop check, knight takes c3, and then eventually, after black takes on c3, white plays d5, just like this. Very similar. Confusing the audience. Now, if you don't know this position, it's hard to play the right moves because it's too complicated. The engine right now says knight d4 is okay, bishop a5 is okay, and h6 is okay. Timman didn't play any of those moves. When I say okay, it still says white's better. Now, white's down a piece, but obviously, taking the knight is good, taking the bishop is good, and so forth. And, if I was playing a blitz game and I was black and I didn't know the position, I would definitely take this pawn, and then I'd be up a pawn. I'd take the pawn would check, white would take back, and then I'd move my knight, and I'm up a pawn. But the engine doesn't do that. The player, the Desperado, that's right. 50 cents from Owen Cost. But at what cost? Yeah. Okay, so Timman took on d5, which is not terrible. Takes back. And the engine really dislikes his next move. A lot. The problem with taking on b2 as a Desperado moving your knight is after e4, black's position's pretty bad. So he should play h6 here, but he played bishop e5. Obviously, you can't take the bishop because I take back, so you have to take the knight. And now I'm threatening to take this, and this is pinned, and this is pinned. Material's equal. So this is just terrible for black. So Timon must have thought a long time when he took on d5 and played here, and he didn't find the right antidote. Yeah. Not timed out. That's correct. All right. So Timon played queen e7. Again, Engin's not a big fan. He takes. And now you can't take with a knight because you lose your queen. You can't take with a king due to its illegality. So he took with the bishop. I mean, black needs the castle here, and he'll be okay probably. Okay, now, the problem with black's position is this king is needed to defend the bishop. So if it was black's turn to move, for example, and black castled, then he would lose a piece. Knight takes bishop, queen takes, bishop takes knight, and then rook takes bishop. So white has a free move. Yasser played e3, so his bishop could get out. And then after rook d8, even though Yasser doesn't know what Twitch is, even though he was in Twitch last night watching the stream, and he'll be here later, and he's on Twitch all the time, he's still, in 1990, prepared to follow the teachings of my stream. Very good. Yasser was ahead of his time. Okay, that was good because then he could get a sandwich waiting for the train because the train hadn't arrived yet. Yasser was ahead of his time. He was hungry too. Those train rides could be long on the Netherlands. So, right, and so Yasser knew always sack the exchange. So he did. Again, knight takes isn't good because you lose your queen. Queen takes isn't good because your bishop's not sufficiently defended. And bishop b5 wins your queen. King takes, frankly, looks ridiculous. The engine says after king takes, white is +8. So that is bad. Okay, so he took the rook takes, bishop to b5. And once again, black would like to castle, but it's the same thing. The same deviled egg. If you castle, I take this, and I take this for free because these two pieces aren't defending d7 anymore. So he stopped knight takes e5 with bishop d6. Yasser played rook d1 anyway. Morphy style, rook takes d7, rook h d1. We've all seen the opera game. Finally, Timon castled. Material's equal. Although, okay, white's down the exchange. He can win the exchange back whenever he wants, and he wants. So with material being equal, obviously black is in a lot of trouble. Knight takes, loses the queen. He has to take with the queen. I mean, bishop takes is good. Bishop here is good. Queen here. I mean, everything's good for white. Terrible position for black. White has a lot of moves that win. Now, of the moves that I was showing, queen d3, bishop f4, bishop takes. Those are the three top engine moves. And I didn't even look at the engine, so I got lucky. One move is stronger than the other ones, much stronger. The other two are probably winning for white, but this is the most winning, and that's what Yasser did. So his opening preparation worked out well. Go Yasser, but stay there. All right, did I miss any kind of donations or sub? No, I missed nothing. Man, I suggested 3 moves, and I said it was one of those moves, and Heinz Superman suggested a 4th move. Man, everybody's suggesting the 4th move. I said here, and I said here, and I said here. Those are the 3 moves I suggested, and everybody's suggesting this move. What? What's happening? King b1 is correct, except for one thing. It's not correct. C.L. Smith, right as usual. Bishop to f4. All right. Now, The engine says resigns is a good choice. He played c4 because that's explosive, so you know that Timon knows about my stream. Now, this is actually funny. White has one move that really wins. White has one move that wins a little bit, but not much. And White has a move where he's slightly better. Can anybody find the really winning move? There's only one move that really wins. If you don't play it, you don't win. Okay, now I wouldn't play the best move. I would play the second best move because I'm barely a winning GM. But Yasser's more winning than me. Now somebody points it out that they liked my shirt, possibly Ovi. And speaking of my shirt, if you know all the shirts that I've worn all my life, the answer to this puzzle used to be on one of my shirts. It was the only move on the shirt. It used to be my favorite move before Bishop F1. You got to read my shirts. C.L. Smith knows. What F6? Boo, you're banned and your children's children. Yeah. No, Queen C2 was on my shirt, right. Yeah, if you play Rook takes, then the Queen can take, and then, Black is fine. Actually, I guess if Rook takes, taking the Queen is better. Then Rook takes, Knight takes, and Black's winning. Queen C3 is also good, but after Knight E4, we attack the Queen and defend the Bishop, so it's not as good. And Queen A2 is the third best move, which is funny. Blah, blah, blah. Walmart. All right. So Queen C2, the Queen is safe. And if you don't believe me, you can ask Dustin Hoffman. And if you don't believe him, you can ask Laurence Olivier. Don't wear shirts. Boo. Boo. Okay, now Black played the only move to save his bishop, Knight E8. Always retreat. Yasser played the best move, Knight G5, threatening checkmate with advantage. And if somehow checkmate is prevented, Knight E4 is annoying. God damn. Right? So that's a great move. I mean, Knight G5 is a great move. Okay, now, what move did Timon play? Because Timon, I told you he won this tournament. What move did Timon play that stops Queen H7 mate and stops Knight E4? God damn. 2,600. Anybody? Morgan Freeman? Morgan Freeman wasn't a marathon man. F5 is correct. Yeah, Knight F6 hangs the bishop on. Yeah. Okay, now Queen takes C4 check is a no-brainer. So that means you guys should get it. King, put it in H. And now everything wins. What Yasser did wasn't the best, but it was pretty cool. Okay, sometimes nothing's a pretty cool hand. And what's funny is, after this game, Yasser went out to eat to celebrate, and he ate 50 eggs. I couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. You know who was more surprised than me? George Kennedy. All right, so Yasser played bishop takes d6, knight takes d6, queen d5. So Yasser's up a pawn with a tremendous attack. And this was a mistake what Yasser did. And now Black can sort of escape a little bit with queen c8 check and h6 in some order. Then White's completely winning, but not as winning as he should have been. And Timon was in time trouble, obviously, and forlorn, so he played rook d8. Now White should play king b1. King b1's the engine move. Always play king b1. Yasser played knight e6. He paid the entry fee. He can win any way he wants. Also, he didn't pay an entry fee. So knight queen c8 check. Always play king b1. The only winning move. Rook to d7. And now Yasser won not only the cutest way, but the engine recommended way. So it's a good thing that Yasser messed it up a little bit so he could play this brilliancy now. Otherwise, if you'd played normally, then the game would have been boring. Okay? And sort of like when Bender gets executed, it's not good, but at least it's not boring. Trying not to learn, he has the right move but the wrong notation. Cool Hand Luke's pretty good movie. Okay, there's a lot of Jesus imagery there, especially when, he's like laying out like this. Come on. All right. Trying not to learn, and then Goran Zaric and so forth. Queen takes d6. This gives me very bad memories of a game that I lost to Gregory Kaidanov before you were born, where he also had a rook and a piece and I had a queen, and it was my move, and I couldn't stop the back rank. The same thing. I think it was a rook and a bishop for Gregory, though I could be wrong. And then he resigned because the only move is this, and then after this, you can't stop rook d8. So in this position, Jan resigned. Good time to resign. Yasser knew what he was doing. He played king b1. That finished off all resistance. So that was quite a good game. Quite good. Yeah. 50 waters into egg. That's right. Something you might not know about Cool Hand Luke is Harry Dean Stanton's in the movie, and I don't think his name was Harry Dean Stanton yet. It was either Dean Stanton or Harry Stanton. I think it was Dean Stanton. He doesn't say anything. He's one of the prisoners. I don't think he has any dialogue. He sort of acts strange. He might have one line. Also, the guy who plays the warden who says, "What we have here is failure to communicate." Now, that guy was also in another Paul Newman movie, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. He's the guy that hires Butch and in Sundance to watch over the money he has to go to the bank and get the money and bring it back to pay people. That guy, who got shot pretty quickly, that guy is the same guy. It's the same actor, the same deviled egg. Okay. Has anybody? Yeah, Strother Martin. Yeah, he was in both movies. Okay, although he didn't die in the first movie. Yeah. In Bolivia, that's right. Yeah, Paul Newman is on, that's right. Yeah. Somebody suggesting how to play black here? God damn. Yeah, I mean, that is correct. What, there was a distance membership? Han Superman, hooray. Was it a socially distancing membership, Karen? Anybody? We still haven't had a train yet? Or we had a train and I forgot, which is more likely. I don't think we had a train. Man, 43 minutes in, no train. God damn. It came across as a merch purchase. Good. George Kennedy was great. Yeah. Yeah, they had a lot. Also in that movie, if I remember correctly, and I don't, was Dennis Hopper. God damn. He was also a prisoner who hardly said anything. Yeah, Harry Stanton and Dennis Hopper, they didn't say too much. They just sat around. Yeah, most of the lines were Paul Newman and George Kennedy. Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. All right, so that's that game. Next game is from, what does that say? Talk to the audience. Ugh, that's always death. From 1980 from Vikanze, which you might know as Tata Steel, but it wasn't Tata Steel again yet. Okay, and when Tata Steel folds, we can say Tata. Okay. Man, I have a good joke, but I can't think of her name. Who's the woman who married the billionaire who was like 90 and he died? Then the family sued to who gets all the money. I think she won the suit. She got at least $200 million. What's her name? Who am I talking? Yeah, Pamela Anderson. Yeah. Tata Steel named after Pamela Anderson. But they reversed the two words. All right. Okay, now. Anna Nicole Smith. Yeah, that's it. Anna Nicole Smith. Damn. Pam Anderson was a good second guess, though. Like, if it was the Anna Nicole Smith, then it was Pamela Anderson. Yeah. Anna Nicole Smith is correct. Yeah. I did look at those games, but that was before you were born. Yeah. I did look at the yeah, I remember those games. Yeah. Wrong woman. All right, now more importantly, who's bigger? Anna Nicole Smith or Pamela Anderson? Discuss. I think for the most part, Anna Nicole Smith won those lawsuits, although they still might be going on. Yeah, the guy died, and then the guy's family wanted the money, and then she wanted the money. I don't know. I think she won, but maybe she didn't win. Maybe she won a little. But I think she won. Yeah. Yeah. Pam Anderson's more famous than Anna Nicole Smith? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Anna Nicole Smith died. Man, the truth hurts. And the lawsuits are still going. Yeah. Yeah, people die, but I forget. So I don't know. Yeah. Let's see. Everybody's banning everybody. All right. All right. So this is a game against Kovacevic. So I have a question for the audience. And by the audience, I mean like Mark and Spencer. Is this the guy? Man, I'm going to get embarrassed here when it's a different name. I'll be like Mr. Burns. They pronounce and spell their names differently. Is this the guy who beat Fischer in the Winnow? Or is that a different guy? If it's the same guy, I look like a genius. If Spencer's like, that wasn't Kovacevic, that was this guy, and I'll be like, oh yeah. Let's see. And come on, I need somebody high rated. Anybody? Yes, he is. What? Yeah, I'm not getting good answers here. So this is the same guy, Mark? This is the same, because I don't know. It seemed like the same guy, but I don't know. Okay, so he's white against Yasser, and I remember looking at this game in a previous stream. I remember. It was Manischewitz. No. A happy camper subscribed. Either he is or he isn't. That is correct. It's funny how I was talking about Patrick Wolf yesterday with the 50-50, and he's playing in the U.S. Senior Championship next month. So there you go. I'm not sure why that's funny, but it's the same guy. Okay, cool. All right, so Yasser played in Yasser style. Okay, put the pawns on the third rank. Okay, and the guy played G4, which is what I like to play. It's the Chinese attack. Okay, and this is the famous game played earlier before this one between Liu Wenzi and Jan Donner. Okay, very famous, in the Olympiad. Okay, so Yasser played C6, which is not very common. Always retreat. Yasser ignored his opponent. Now Yasser played a move that I would never play, I would never consider, and if a student of mine played it, I would stop teaching them. And I would say, you got to get another coach. Probably Yasser. And having said that, this is not one of the top 3 moves in the position. The engine does not like Yasser's position. However, this is a Yasser kind of position. It's the kind of position he plays well, so it doesn't really matter what the engine says. Now, does it? Yeah. G4. I played G4. Yeah. Yeah, he played Rook G8. Boo. Boo. Okay, his opponent played HG. Okay, probably he was in a time machine or something. Can they get that joke? Do I get that joke? Nah, I better leave Wells enough alone. Okay, and then he recaptured. Knight F3. Knight back to b1, setting up for the next game. And the engine likes white a little bit, but after hg, knight f3, knight b1, a4, now it likes black a little bit. Okay, and it doesn't like d5 at all. Yeah, and I mean, white doesn't have control of any squares now. C4 is a very bad move, etc. 1,000 centidues from Nicola. Wait, that means I got two other things? What were the two other things? Oh, a happy camper. I don't even see three things on the stream that I could... Oh, 100 centidues from Akam Sakam Robot. Yeah. Trying not to learn 10 cents. Thanks, Nicola. Yeah. Now, I'd like to say... Sometimes it's very important what the engine says, especially when there's material disparity. So you sacrifice a rook and you're like, I have great compensation. And the engine says, no. The engine's like +6 for your opponent. And you're like, what? I thought, and you're like, no. Then you're down a rook and you lose. Then there's positions like this over the last 3 or 4 moves, and the engine likes somebody's position, and grandmasters don't care. They're like, yeah, whatever. Care what the engine says. And then, people like Nakamura and Yasser, there's other kinds of players like that. They don't care what the engine says. They get a position they like, their opponent gets confused, and they win. Now, obviously, if the engine says you're losing in some position after move 10, and you like that position, and your score with it is 9 out of 9 in your 9 tournament games, it doesn't matter what the engine says. You win every game. You like those positions. Now, something like with me in that ilk is when I play the closed Benoni, where I move my knight around 100 times, and I block the position, and I have no space, and nobody in the world would take my position, and the engine says I'm lost. I love those positions. And that's the opening I beat Mamedyarov with, and Conrad Holt, and Alexander Lisiege, and so forth. I have lots of victories against higher rated players, and if I was playing the engine, I would lose, but I would lose against the engine anyway, so that's not relevant, right? Now I'm just rapping to stay relevant. Usually, I was rapping for the hell of it, but things changed. Basic Pract, 500 centidues. ZZYZY Man, 100 centidues. Trying to learn. Gifted a sub to Ivysaur. Hooray. Everybody's given everything. All right. Complicated jokes, too. Right. Okay, so now the engine says black is doing great. It doesn't like any of the moves that white played. It doesn't like HG. It doesn't like knight f3. It doesn't like a4, knight b1, or c4. When I say it doesn't like it, it's not like it loses a queen. It just says, nah, that's not a good move. Now, in this position, according to the engine, Yasser played by far the best move here. Try to guess what it is in the chat. And while you're guessing, donate something. Do something. Yeah, like what Mike Saylor did. Go Mike Saylor. What does the engine say black should do? Goran Zaric is correct. Jimbo Matthews gifted 3 subs, so he's more correct. The more subs you donate, the more correct you are. The person in the chat who's the most correct right now is Nicola Stojan, because Nicola gave like 18 subs yesterday. So he's the most correct. He didn't even answer. Damn. Exactly. You know who mispronounces exactly? The way I'm mispronouncing it is Mike Kummer. Oh, yeah. If you're going to mispronounce a word, make sure you do it like Mike Kummer. Yeah. Okay, so Yasser played king d7. That is correct. The king is very safe over here. We got to get a battery over here. And the engine says that's by far the best move. Now, I have an opinion, which may be wrong. I could be wrong. My opinion is, when Kovacevic played c4, he was trying to block the position and draw the game, because he figures Yasser's a better player. I don't like my position. I'm going to block it up on the bubble up, and we'll draw the game. And, when c4 was played, I asked Yasser, what do you think of that move? And he said, that move is not copacetic. And you have to agree, although it's close. It's almost copacetic, but not quite, because it's, copacetic. All right, go king d7, Papa John's. All right, we're at level 3. Okay, knight bd2, put it in h, rook h8, rook g1, king c7. I mean, white just can't do anything. So white blocks it up, but black's going to win in the center and the king side. Queen h8, ready style. Yeah. Somehow, after rook g8, 7 moves later, black takes over the h-file. What world am I in? Yeah, it's not a world I want to live in. Now, the engine says white should play bishop f1 for obvious reasons, but he played knight f1. Okay, Yasser traded off his dark squared bishop. Now his opponent's left with this terrible bishop. Queen's in the center. The bishop can move. White just has no play here. White can't do anything. White's like, leave me alone. And then Yasser said, no talking. All right, we need some hype train help. Never play f3. The engine does not like f3. Yeah, I mean, white just can't move. Queen h8 again. f4 is a very bad move, hastening his defeat. Queen h4 is correct. That's a good move. Never play f6. The engine prefers bishop h3, although I must admit, this chess.com engine was written by Shirov. So that's, yeah. 1,000 centidues, Troy Haskin, putting us to level 4. 111 centidues, Wild Rumpus. Go Yasser. Yasser said to tell you guys he's coming. Right? And his wife's like, shh. Okay, so f6. Takes. Opening up the e-file. Yasser's got 3 major pieces, 1 to pin each of them. e5, hastening his defeat. Opening the f-file. God damn. This is the guy who beat Fischer? Frankly, the guy's playing terrible. Now, I would like to point out to the gawking rabble, whether you're gawking rabble or not, that the engine doesn't see the material like we do, because when we look at the material, it's equal. Nobody's ahead. So sometimes in those kinds of positions, the engine says equal, because there's equal material. This engine says, excuse me, if white plays perfectly, black is up 12.6. Can you believe that? Black is up 12 here? I mean, I believe it, because, look at him, terrible. So that's a pretty bad beatdown. It's amazing that Yasser can play rook g8, and then like the next 20 moves, he's totally crushing it on the h-file. That just shows you how badly his opponent played. And the weakness of most people, if you compare them with like their tactical ability, their opening knowledge, their endgame knowledge, their time management, whatever, the strategical play of a lot of people, strategy, is really bad. It's terrible. However, it doesn't matter because your opponent hung his queen and you beat him. So you play strategical mistakes every move, your opponent hangs a rook, and you're like, I'm a genius. Okay? But if 2 super GMs are playing, and one of them plays really bad strategically, he gets crushed. However, when 2 super GMs are playing, one of them doesn't play terribly strategically. That wouldn't make any sense. So it's a very fine line. We have to find a GM who's weak enough, like me or Kovacevic, to lose to Yasser strategically and not lose by hanging all his pieces. So if Yasser's playing a 1600, the guy hangs all his pieces. If Yasser plays Kasparov, Kasparov plays well. So Yasser has to find just the right opponent where he's not hanging all of his pieces, but he's still getting crushed. And here's the guy. So Yasser has a lot of very nice wins against IMs and lesser known GMs because he's much better than them. So strategically, he destroys them and you're like, well, that guy didn't lose any material. Why is he losing? Now the engine says it's plus 21 for black. He took a pawn with check and Yasser moved his king on over, move it on over. And now he's down a pawn, but he's plus 1,000 because all of his pieces are crushing white. Okay, let me hook up the people in the chat who gave money. 200 cents to dues grunge word, a little late. Croissant lover, 34, 100 cents to dues, cent. And then that's all I missed. Yeah. I think Fischer would have beat Karpov in 75. I don't know because Fischer hadn't played any chess games after he beat Spassky. So I don't know. 10 cents to dues. Thank you. Try not to learn. Yeah, the engine now says that black is plus 25 and black's down a pawn. Okay, obviously we have a serious threat here. So play bishop d3, defending his rook. Rook e8 check, and now he resigned. Okay, and now the engine announces mate. Okay, so let's look at the possible legal moves. Knight e3 is not legal, and rook e2 is not legal. So that gets rid of that. If you play bishop e2, these two pieces are pinned. So I have rook takes f1 check, and if you take, it's mate. And you can't actually take any other way, so the engine plays king d2. Okay, we're not going to look at that. So this is illegal, this is illegal, this loses all of his pieces. Queen e2 is the best move. And then it says black has mate in 10. So, so he resigned here. All right, lots of good stuff happened that I missed. 55 cents to dues from Wild Rumpus. Georgia State Championship. I don't think there's any tournaments here. Grunge War, 200 cents to dues. Misses the stream. Basic Pract gifted 5 subs. Hooray! Go Basic Pract. Putting us at level 5. So this is the absolute best play for white. This is if the engine is white. Here, takes, take. This is the engine playing white. I'm playing perfectly with white. You can't play better than what I'm doing. Okay, and black is up a queen and a bishop, and this is the best move, and then this, and okay, it's mate. Yeah, that's the best play for white. So instead, white resigned after bishop d3 check. Okay, so that was total destruction of white's position. It looked like white wasn't a very good player, but as I pointed out before the game, the guy with white years before this, maybe 10 years before, beat Fischer with black. So he probably not too terrible. Looked terrible. I'm not sure he was a grandmaster, but I think he was. Yeah. What's the best mouse to play bullet? Yeah. Yeah, the black king's pretty safe. The white king is not safe. What's funny is, after like 7, 8 moves, the engine's like, wow, white's doing great. Then after move 13, the engine's like, okay, horrible. Terrible. Just didn't understand the position. It made lots of strategical errors. Didn't lose any material, but okay, terrible. Grunge War gifted 5 subs. Level 5 complete. Yeah. Right, everybody was good until they weren't. Yeah. Also, when I showed good games of a player, it doesn't even matter who the player is. You'll be like, wow, that guy was good. However, if I say, let's look at somebody's worst games, you'll be like, wow, why are they so bad? Right? You have to look at everybody's games over years to see how good they are. If I showed you Magnus's 5 best games, that'd be pretty awesome. If I showed you his 5 worst games, you'd be like, what's wrong with him? Why is he losing on time to Topalov, not knowing what the time control is? Yeah, the truth hurts. Why is he losing to Hammer? Why is he losing to Michael Adams? The answer is fries. But if I show you the game he beat that guy in Vikonsay when he was like 14, and he sacked all his pieces in the Carol Khan, man, that was a great game. Who was he playing? He was playing some Dutch guy, I think. Was he playing on me or Smates? Who was he playing? Was it Smates? Who was Magnus playing in the Carol Khan where he sacked all his pieces and mated him? Come on, you guys know that stuff. Anybody? No? Anyone? Why did he lose to Bryan Adams? Somebody had to. Oh, I know why he lost to Bryan Adams. Because he was pretty young, Magnus. I think it was the summer of '69. I don't know what that song is about, but I was born in the summer of '69. Also, we were talking in a few streams ago about how he claimed that it had a sexual connotation. And then the guy who co-wrote the song with him said, no, he just made that up after the fact. So, sounds good. Mike Kummer's best games. What's better, Mike Kummer's best games or Magnus's worst games? Which are higher quality? It's not Mike Kummer's best games, that's for sure. Nobody's telling me. Adams was 10 and 69. Michael Adams or no? Michael Adams was probably born in like 73 or 74. Yeah. All right, the hype train did pretty well. Pretty well. All right, fare thee well, Kovacevic. Now we'll look at this game with Karpov, and Karpov improved on the game later and beat Yasser good. But this isn't a Karpov lecture. Okay, so yeah, this is an 82, I believe. Yeah. At the Phillips and Drew. And in 82, Anish Giri was not alive yet. He was really mad. Because he's like, Phillips and Drew, I would have loved to play in that tournament. They would rename it Phillips and Drew and Drew and Drew and Drew again. But the tournament doesn't exist anymore. Man, is Geary upset. Terrible. Kovacevic rhymes with gotcha, bitch. That is correct. Yasser is the only American player in 1986 at that point that had beaten Karpov and Kasparov, as far as I know. So this was the game he beat Karpov in 82, then he beat Kasparov in 86. Okay, and he's like, you got any more world champions? And then he dropped the mic and walked away. God damn. 82? Oh yeah, Karpov was easily number one. And then some. Okay, so Sarawan's white. They played a QGD, which was the style at the time. Rook C1's unusual. Trade everything. And Yasser played G3, which is a very unusual line. Normally in the QGD, white's playing E3, bishop D3, or bishop E2. But Yasser wanted to fianchetto his bishop. And Yasser played rook C3. Again, a very unusual move. Okay. And in very un-Karpov-like fashion, he played knight A6, which is a strange move. And after queen A4, Karpov blundered. And when I say he blundered, I don't think he missed what Sarawan did. I think he sacrificed a piece, which is not very Karpov-like. And later, in the same position, I think he played B5 here and beat Karpov and beat Sarawan later in another game, maybe in 84. But in this position, what you see how the queen is attacking the knight and the rook, and they're both defended. But after C5, which is not a good move, Yasser wins a piece with rook E3. And I don't think this was a blunder on Karpov's part. I think this was a piece sacrifice that was wrong. And I think Karpov sacrificed a piece because Yasser's king is on E1, bishop F1, rook H1, and he thought he would get a big attack. But maybe thinking wasn't his strong suit. Okay, so C5 is a terrible move. The engine says bishop B7 or B5 are both fine. Okay, and then this is, terrible. Frankly, terrible. Yeah, and Karpov improved on this play in a later game and beat Yasser. Okay, well, if the queen moves away, you lose the rook. So you have to play bishop e6, and then you lose your knight. All right, so c takes d4. And the idea is, if you play knight takes d4, which is the obvious move, queen b4 check wins the piece back immediately. Or, as Yasser likes to say, immediately, for some reason. So Yasser stopped this with the move rook b3. So white's position is very strange, but he's up a piece. So, and Karpov doesn't like to play in this style, so it's very strange to me that he did this. I think it's much more likely he sacked a piece than he blundered rook e3. That doesn't make any sense. But this isn't really in his style. And the engine doesn't like it. And even if the engine did like it for black, it's just not Karpov doesn't play like this. Karpov doesn't sack a piece and then try to mate you 15 moves later. However, one of Karpov's greatest games ever, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, was in, I believe it was Montreal 79, where he was black and in English. And Karpov chased Timon's king from the king's side to the queen's side, sacrificing material. What a great game. I'm sure you guys know that game. Road to GM 3000 is rating with a party of 23. Yay, it's the Dr. Pepper raid. Go Road to GM 3000. You can do it. 100 centidues from Amar Srivastava. Thank you. The more you donate, the more money we have. Yay, we got a raid. Now we have 420 viewers. 420. Good raid. Go, everybody. Okay, Karpov played bishop f5. I guess he wants to play d3 or bishop c2 and so forth. And this is funny. If I was white in a blitz game, I'd probably play knight takes d4, but that move's no good. Then it's equal. Yasser played the only good move, bishop g2. You got to get the heck out of there. That's the only winning move. Bishop c2, and once again, Yasser played the only winning move. If Yasser castles, we take the rook, we take on e2, there's probably a draw. So he played knight d4, the only good move, takes. Knight takes is the only good move. You still can't play takes because queen b4 check still wins the knight. And luckily, the queen is stopping mate. So white is materially winning, but still his king isn't very good. Okay, and rook a c8 was played. The rook wants to go to c2. If I castle, which looks really safe, we're just hanging this pawn. This pawn's weak. The rook's going to get to the 7th. So you actually have to take time out and play bishop f3, which Yasser did, defending his pawn. Now he can castle. It's not his turn, but... Okay, and he did. And then Yasser... See, Yasser didn't realize that the Chappelle show hadn't started yet, right? Yasser was like calling Dave Chappelle and saying, where's the wrap it up button? And Chappelle's like, dude, I'm a little child. I'll call you later, and then we'll give you the wrap it up button. Okay, so this position is just winning for white. Black has no counterplay. And I know a lot of you are like, excuse me, black has a rook and a pawn for a bishop and a knight. That's about the same. That's about the same if you don't understand chess very well. Okay? In the end game, when there's nothing on the board and black has a lot of pawns, maybe. In a middle game or opening, the rooks don't do anything. I'm sacrificing the exchange. This is like white sacrificed the exchange and he has an extra piece. So this is terrible. The engine says white is up 3.36. And it says every move is +3. Yasser wanted to target this pawn. Then he blocked the pawn. Not very nice. And Yasser's taking pawns and taking names and stuff like that. Knight takes a7. It's hopeless. Now, if I was black, I would definitely play queen a8. I mean, otherwise I resign. He didn't play queen a8. says Rook C1 wins, Queen A3 wins, Queen C8 wins. Man, Rook C1 threatening here looks pretty annoying. Man, that's too bad. Man, I can't do that. I can't do that. What if I do this? I'm sure that's fine. Check. Check. God damn. Oh, I did a Kasparov. I tried to play Queen D3, but I went here. G6, Queen D4, Papa John's. Plus 65. Man, Black must defend great to not get mated here. Wow. I would definitely play Queen A8, but okay, he played Rook C7. Now he played Queen A8. Too late. Same kind of trick. Yeah, Yasser did the same thing. He didn't play G6, Queen D4. He played F5. Ha-ha. All right, and Queen E6. Threatening mate. All right, and Karpov resigned. Plus 1,000. Yeah. Good. Etc. So that's the game Karpov lost against Sarawan. What I like about that game is Sarawan was up a piece, right? Then he was up 2 pieces for a rook. Now he's down the exchange. Hooray! Yasser got to the right material distribution where he'd be down the exchange. That's how you play chess. Always sack the exchange. So, very nice win from Yasser. Very bad piece sacrifice from Karpov. You don't hear that sentence too often. Very bad piece sacrifice from Kasparov. God damn. Karen gifted a sub to David Pacman. Yay. Go Karen. Go David Pacman. And go Biden, I guess. Thaddeus gifted a sub. Go Thaddeus. Hooray. Greetings from Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard sounds good. Doesn't Biden have a place in Martha's Vineyard? All right. I told Karen, when I die this year or next year, whenever it is, she has my permission to marry David Pacman and change her name to Ms. Pacman. That's the best I could think of. Yeah. I didn't think of it now. Yeah. Yasser wasn't good enough to be world champ. That's correct. I had breakfast with Biden today. Huge. Wait a minute. Isn't Huge the other guy? Isn't Huge Bernie Sanders? And I'm getting confused here. All right. Wait, what's worse? If I die or if Karen marries David and changes his name to Ms. Pacman? Which is worse? One of them's, yeah. Huge is definitely Bernie. See, that must be a fake David Pacman account because he said he had breakfast with Biden and he said he had cookies with Milken. And wait, what's the joke? Cookies with Milken? Damn, Spencer's making fun of me now. Something with Boski. Brunch with Boski and cookies with Milken? Is it brunch? What is it, Spencer or Mark? What's the quote? I had brunch with Boski and cookies with Milken? But it's not brunch. I think I made up brunch. Anybody? David Pacman, yesterday we have the super fake Yasser account, and now your account's super fake. They're both super fake. Those accounts are equally fake, if you understand what I'm saying. No? Somebody, what's the quote? Oh, no, it's breakfast with Boski and cookies with Milken. That's the quote. Yeah. I got to learn my Futurama. I've only seen every episode 10 times. Yeah, Papa John's. It's like Papa wrong. That was a fake Yasser. It was not a fake Yasser. Just like this is not a fake David Pacman. Yasser emailed me after the stream. We've been emailing a lot. He's going to come on the stream. We'll get him on video. He'll talk to you guys. And he'll be lurking at some point. He's sleeping now. So, but David, a serious question for you. Expert losing with the Stafford. All right. David, seriously, did you really have breakfast with Biden or you were half kidding? Hopefully he was half kidding. Oh, whiskey with Boski. Whiskey with Boski. That's funnier than, wait, Breakfast with Boski? Yeah, Whiskey with Boski's funnier. The writers are funnier than me. Whiskey with Boski and Cookies with Milken is genius. Whoever wrote Cookies with Milken, they should get a raise immediately. They should be writing for other shows. They should be writing for David. Yeah. Yeah. You did not? No. Yeah, Whiskey with Boski and Cookies with Milken. Well, that was a great episode. My only regret is I didn't cure my bonitis. That's a great episode. Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you ever watched Futurama, David. Even if you haven't, you'd like that episode. That episode's very good. There's a lot of funny stuff in that episode. That's one of the top 5 episodes. Yeah. Are Yosemites allowed here? Well, Yosemite Sam is allowed here. When I was a kid, here's what happened. Stop making fun of me. Or make fun of me now, then I'll tell you the story. Okay. I've never even told Karen this. I've never told anybody this. When I was a kid, I'm going to say between 9 and 15, somewhere in there, I knew about Yosemite Sam from, cartoons, because I'm a cartoon expert. And then I saw the name printed, and I said to myself, why did they write Yosemite Sam? I was confused. And I have a similar story, very similar. When I was 7, I think I was 7, might have been 8. There was like school president or elementary school, and I was like, why does that kid have such a strange name? I saw the name written. I said, why is his name Cian? That's a strange name. The name was Sean. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Cian? I never heard of anybody named Cian. Yeah. Sean would never talk to me. No clarification needed. Yeah. All right, let's see. 10 cents to dues. Spencer loves King of the Hill. Just letting you know that. Yeah, Scruffy does believe in this company. Yeah. Everybody's allowed on my stream, but often people get banned in timeout. They're allowed, but they get banned in timeout, that's all. But they're still allowed. Yeah. Can you show the armrests on the chair? I guess. I mean, I hate getting up. I'm more of a sit-down comic, not a stand-up comic. Is this, can you see it now? Yeah, there you go. If I was a prettier model, you'd probably buy the chair. But I'm not, I can't. What could I tell you? Yeah, Karen bought me this chair about 3 months ago. She bought it at Fry's. And I said, where did you buy the chair? And she said, the answer is Fry's. Also, if the question is, what's the most expensive electronics store on earth? The answer is Fry's. Oh yeah, it vibrates a lot. Yeah. Let's see. You're a brave man to wear. That's all I do is wear shirts with my face on it. All right, good chat so far. Okay, let's look at some other game. Go Yasser, but stay there. Okay, so now again, if you weren't here before, weren't listening, when I told Yasser I was going to look at his best games tonight, he said, you can't look at my best games. My best games are played in these open tournaments, and those games aren't published. And I'm thinking, I didn't say it to Yasser, although he's probably listening now. Nobody wants to see the game you beat Jack Peters where you sacrifice 7 queens. I made that up, but it could have happened. They want to see you beat Ivanchuk and Karpov and Kasparov and Fischer and Tall and Smyslov and Botvinnik and Petrosian and Alekine and Capablanca and Steinitz and Morphy and Anderson and Philidor and Napoleon. They don't want to see, you beat some guy they never heard, So even though maybe Yasser played some fantastic games in these open tournaments that you haven't seen, they weren't against, the world champions. Yeah. Oh man, he really beat Morphy good once. That was, yeah. What's funny is, this isn't well known, but when Yasser played Morphy, Yasser was actually older. That's the strange part. Yeah. Okay, so here's a game he beat Ivanchuk, and I've never played Ivanchuk, and if I did, which I didn't, I mean, I would lose, but that's not the point of the story, is the whole game I would think to myself, how much wood could Ivanchuk chuck if Ivanchuk could chuck wood? And I would just lose on time. Terrible. Yeah. Okay, so Yasser's white, and he played like Yasser. Okay, Yasser being Yasser. All right, Yasser likes to play white in the King's Indian, bishop d3, knight e2. He loves doing that. Okay, now, I'm not allowed to look at this move, so don't tell me what happened. I don't know what move he played here. I'll just click forward, and then we'll continue. Or I'm not sure what move he played. Oh, I know. He got connect 4. Okay, that's okay. Now, Yasser wants to play bishop e3, but then knight g4 is annoying. So he played f3. Okay. So that's what happened. Yasser is pretty old. It's true. Pretty old. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Ivanchuk always retreats. And then he played bishop h6, confusing the audience. Now, in this position, Ivanchuk resigned because bishop h6 was a mouse slip. And what's funny was they weren't playing on the internet. They were playing in real life. Ivanchuk went to castle. Here's what happened. And then right before he touched his king, he saw a mouse. And he went, ah! And he played bishop h6, like by accident. He was picking up the bishop to get them, okay, and he put it back on the wrong square, and the arbiter said he had to play bishop h6, so it was a mouse slip. It turned out it wasn't a mouse. It turned out, God, so many jokes I can make right now, and I can't pick the right person. I mean, I wanted to pick like the shortest guy I could think of, but I couldn't. I'm not going to make fun of Danny DeVito. He's a national treasure. Okay. So bishop h6 was a mouse slip, and then he resigned, and now we can go to the next game. No, I'm just kidding. He played bishop h6, and that's fine. Okay, now, yeah, I didn't really prepare the joke. I was making it up as I was talking. If I prepared it, I could have said like Scaramucci. That would have been a good part. Yeah, that would have been good. Okay, now, I want to show you something that reminds me of this. So when I was about 12, okay, I was white against a guy. I was about 2,050, and my opponent was about 2,190. And I used to play, whatever this is called, the something. Yeah. I might have played here. Okay. So I had a position very similar to this, possibly. And I was 12, and I played this move. Okay, and he played queen h4 check, and I lost. Okay, and I was rated over 2,000 when I played bishop h6. Yeah, damn. Okay, then later, I learned something very funny. In some line, I don't know the exact line, in some line in the same-ish, I mean, I'm making this up, but castles, no. I'm just going to make up a line. I'm making it up. I can't, it's not my turn. All right, that's good making stuff up. Let's play a6. All right. There's a line in the same-ish that's similar to this position, but not this position, but similar. And black plays h6, which looks totally absurd. And the reason is taking the pawn is a mistake because if knight takes e4, attacking the queen, then white takes somehow. And then queen h4 check, getting his piece back, and black is better. So after h6, white just moves his bishop. Okay. So it's funny that there's a known theoretical line where black is going through contortions to have white play bishop h6, and I just played bishop h6 and resigned. I'm the worst. Okay, But I'm better than I was when I was 12. But maybe. Okay. All right. So Ivanchuk played bishop h6. Obviously, if you take it, queen h4 check gets the piece back. So Yasser played queen d2. Okay. And pretty aggressive for Yasser, stopping the castling. Bishop b1. Okay. Now, it's a good thing David is here. Now, I know David left 5 minutes ago, and he's asleep, and he's blocked the stream, and he's banned me, and he's called the cops, and he's swatting me. I know. But if David is still here, Ivanchuk, who some people think is crazy like Fox News, as opposed to crazy like a fox, he proved it here. And I remember Boris Men, 2600 USCF from Ohio, 30 years ago. We were walking in the tournament room, and we looked at a position, and I said, what's that? And he said, too much talent, okay? Which is, euphemism for, no good, okay? And this is Ivanchuk with too much talent. Ivanchuk, probably the most creative player of the top 10 in the world for a 10, 20-year period, probably. Not top 10 anymore. And he played a move that doesn't make any sense because he thought of the move and you wouldn't think of it. And it's very reminiscent of King D7 that Yasser played against Kovacevic. Okay, and here and in the last game, it was not copacetic. It was not. The engine, realizes, like I can take this. And so, whatever, the engine just makes random moves. Ivanchuk defended his pawn in a way that you might not consider, confusing the audience, also confusing Yasser. Fighting for a samish. Very good. That's a good joke. Okay, and then looking at the chat. No good chat. Okay. And he played king e7. Okay, defending his d6 pawn, and the engine says that's the worst move ever. And I was like, have you seen XQC's games? And the engine says, okay, my bad, I'm sorry. Okay, that actually happened. Okay, now, if your opponent's going to play badly, there's a reason why you're playing badly, and you have to punish it. You can't just say, oh, that move's bad because the engine said so. Now my B pawn is attacked, so I'll play queen c1. If your opponent's going to make a bad move, and the reason it's bad is because it puts the king on a very bad square and can get attacked, then you must do this. So Yasser played a very non-Yasser move here. Okay, Yasser likes to squeeze and get space and maneuver around and put you to sleep. But after king e7, he's like, well, all right, now we got to, give him the old, in out, as they said in Clockwork Orange. Yeah. Let's see. What is people saying? Blah, blah, blah. Worse than us. Right. Okay. So he played the move f4. Rawr. That is the correct move. He's going right after Ivanchuk's king. Open the F file, open the D file, open the diagonals, and the king on E7, as we vegans say, is vegan toast, right? And you should drink your toast. Okay, and the engine says black can already resign. Completely lost, right? No hope. We're going to get the F file, rook F1, FE5, queen G7, D6, Papa John's. Okay. Now, there was a domino effect, which is very strange because Ivanchuk is more of a checkers player. Now, the only question is what's worse? The domino effect in chess, where you make blunder, Domino's Pizza, right? And what was the other joke I had? I had a third joke. It's not Fats Domino. What was my joke? Or the game Dominoes. Well, that was easy. How did I mess that joke up? Okay, anyway, Ivanchuk blundered again with e takes f4, opening it up on the bubble up. Okay, and Yasser played a really creative move here when obviously queen takes f4 is fine. Nothing wrong with queen takes f4. He played rook f1. He doesn't want a castle, because then he's opening up his king on the diagonal. And Yasser's just going to take here, and he's going to, crash into me and baby, come into you and so forth. Yeah, a boy's dream. Rook f8, another not best move. Queen takes. He wants to play e5. Now, Yasser played f3, and he still won. For those of you who are super intelligent chess players and watch my stream a lot, you've been wondering for the last 15 minutes, how did Yasser play f3 and win? Very good question. Well, now you're going to find out. The engine doesn't like white playing e5 for black, so it plays knight to d7, defending the e5 square. Then this knight could go to c5 maybe. Okay, and unfortunately, it's still plus 4.4 for white. The reason is, if I play dc, you can see how my rook is unleashed on the d6 pawn. But if you take with a queen to defend d6, knight d5 check is annoying, right? Yeah, exactly. So he played f6, never play f6. Right. And this is how Yasser won, obviously. 500 centidues for open files. That's right. Let's see. Domino theory, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. And that was a lousy comparison. Yeah. Yeah, the greatest player ever to come out of Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. Do you know who it was? He was probably the best player never to be world champion. Yeah, easily the best player to come out of that area. Does anybody know? Man, you're not going to like it. Be prepared not to like it. No. The answer is obvious. No. It's chess. Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao actually does play chess. Yeah. No, the answer is obvious. Yeah, it's Court Hanoi. Yeah. Yeah, and when he goes there, he stays at the Hilton. Go Court Hanoi. All right, now... Man, that joke was annoying. All right. Remember Kissinger's still alive? Really? God damn. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Are you serious? Hey, Siri. It's not working? Why isn't Siri working? Yo, Siri. Wake up, Siri. Hey, Siri. Hi, Siri. Why isn't Siri working? My phone broken? I didn't want to have to type in Kissinger. This is terrible. Kissinger is 97. God damn. And he was born in Germany, which is good. 97. Yeah, they made fun of Kissinger on The Simpsons like 30 years ago. Yeah. '97. God damn. He's almost old enough to date Betty White. Okay. So now, lots of moves win. The funniest move is e5. The engine likes e5 because that busts open the position and the bishop and the knight. But Yasser played the obvious dc, threatening knight check, winning the queen, threatening queen d6, threatening rook d6. Okay, and he made another mistake. Bishop e6 is the best move. Hanging this pawn would check. God damn. But he played queen c6. Knight d4. I mean, I've never seen anybody beat anybody so badly ever. Yeah. You gotta be kidding me. You kidding me? It's a Family Guy joke. So after king d7, this is always winning a rook. Now, knight b5 might be better, but okay, this wins a rook. So you play king d8, check. Bishop d7, knight b5, and then he resigned. And the engine says plus 16 for white. It looks like Ivanchuk is playing 960. It's really unexpected that Yasser would just push Ivanchuk off the board. You would think Yasser would play a positional game, Ivanchuk might make a mistake, and Yasser would win in 55 moves. Not that Yasser would just blow him away. 22 moves. I mean, Ivanchuk got totally destroyed. Plus 16.6 right now. God damn. So it was the beating of a lifetime. Probably the worst game Ivanchuk's ever lost, if I had to guess. Yeah. Do you actually talk to Geary? I've spoken to Geary, but I haven't seen him in a long time. You woke up my Siri? My Siri's asleep. Man. Yeah, Yasser's the best. Yeah. He's sleeping like a grandmaster now. Yeah. You know what his wife's doing? You guys should get this one because, I tell this joke all the time. Anybody? Oh, terrible answers. You guys are the worst. I give you the easy joke. Sleeping with a grandmaster, exactly. How do you win? God damn. White's up material. Black can't move anything. F6 is hanging. Queen B6 is going to be mate in like 2 moves. Knight B6 is going to win all his pieces. The question is, how do you not win? That's the question. Whether it's his nobler in the mind to be at Martha's Vineyard or to take arms against the Sea of Troubles and go to Florida and, fight against COVID, to die to sleep. Yeah. Vasily losing. That's right. And then he killed the mouse. That's right. Yeah. The engine says plus 18 for white. So that's pretty good. Yeah, if you don't think white's winning here, then, chess lessons from David Packman would be good. Okay. Next, next. Da, da, da. Let's see. Is this the game I wanted to show? It definitely is. But I'm going to skip it anyway. Bam! Skipped it. 500 centidues from Akam Sakam Robot. I didn't even realize that you could see my secret illegal stuff. So I put an end to that. No, I don't think you can. I mean, it's a secret. Wait, what's going on? You can't see it? I'm so confused. All right. Asmai Parashvili Pigusov. Bishop D2, 3 question marks? What's wrong with Bishop D2? What? Bishop D2 is a normal move? What are you talking about? But thanks for the 500 centidues. Yeah. All right. I don't know. Should I show the... I don't want to show the Zdenko game because... Yeah, this is what I want to show. All right. Making copies. Although I don't want to show the whole game. I just want to show a little of it. Let's go for here. All right. Yeah, this is what I want to show. Next. Yeah. Kissinger, Kasparov, F3, notation, chat. We see everything. I mean, Bishop D2 is like a normal move. What are you talking about? Okay, and then boring endgame. Yeah. Okay, this is Sarwan Kasparov, 86 Olympiad. Yeah. This was in Dubai, where the U.S. beat the Soviet Union. God damn, didn't see that happening. Go U.S. Now, many people believe that the reason Yasser won this game was Kasparov didn't want to draw Yasser. Kasparov didn't want the match to be a tie, so Kasparov went crazy like Fox News. In fact, when Kasparov went crazy, he wasn't going crazy. What he was doing was fine. So this position is equal and should be a draw, but Kasparov didn't lose because he went all in to beat Yasser. Kasparov tried to win like he always does because he's Kasparov, unlike players today who draw in 10 moves. And, he lost. And this game was in really bad time trouble. Really bad time trouble. And they were playing with analog clocks because it was 1986. That's what they had. And they weren't keeping score, and they both had seconds on their clock. And in this particular event, which was very common before the year 2000, there were several time controls, like 40 moves in 2 hours, and then 20 moves in 1 hour, and then 20 moves for another hour, stuff like that. So this is move 54, and it's White's move. And as Yasser explained to me, they were both blitzing, and I'll show you what happened at the end. I'll tell you the rest of the story. Okay, now according to the engine, this is all zeros, but of course, this is a passed pawn, this is a passed pawn. So, anything could happen. Yasser played g4, which is fine. It's one of the moves that draws. Kasparov played f4, which is one of the moves that draws. E takes f4 is the only good move. Kasparov could take or play rook a3. They both draw. Played rook a3. Yasser played the only move in the position, otherwise he's completely lost. What's the only move for White? You have one move that's fine, and every other move loses. Yeah, f takes g5 is better than f5. Okay, and so we got Stockfish at depth 24. And it's changing its mind about what the right move is at depth 25. Yeah. Now, obviously, the players were playing very quickly here. Okay, now according to the engine, the only move that draws is kind of strange. On the other hand, it's not kind of strange. It's rook h3 with the idea of stopping White's pawns. And we got 2 passed pawns of our own. And the engine at depth 28 says it's all zeros. It says rook h3 is a draw. And I've seen analysis of this game with engines that go deeper than the one I have right now, since mine is still thinking. And it says rook h3 is a draw. Okay, instead, Kasparov played rook a2 check, which is also a draw. King f3. And now he made the losing move. He actually has to repeat, always repeat. Rook a3 check is still a draw. And then no matter where the king goes, the engine says it's a draw anyway. But again, the players had seconds on their clock. And I assume Kasparov played rook a2 check because White's king was on e2, which is pretty good at stopping the c-pawn. And the king on f3 is not good at stopping the c-pawn. So Kasparov's like, whatever, I'll queen my own pawn. Bam. Okay. And even though they're in horrible time trouble, Yasser played the only winning move here. And probably they were moving like every 2 seconds and not keeping score. What's the only winning move for White? And Yasser played it. Yasser, that's my Sarah one. FG is better than f5 because you take a pawn instead of not taking a pawn, and the g pawn is harder to stop than the f pawn. Like, if you play rook h1, rook h8, like let's say you want to get the rook over here and stop the pawns, and there's not a lot of files to do it, but the h file is one of them. Well, if I play g7, you're not going to play rook h8. But if I play f7, then you can play rook h8. So this is a better pawn to queen because it stops rook h8. It's also better to queen because you're taking a pawn instead of not taking a pawn. So black would have a pawn here. So white has 3 pawns to 0 instead of 2 pawns to 1. And this pawn's harder to stop. And it's further away from the black king. So FG is clearly superior. Now, all that stuff I said doesn't really matter. You just have to analyze 20 moves ahead, and the engine says it's better. Okay, and then several people are correct. Most people are correct. Rook d1. That's right. That's the only winning move. g6 is a draw, and every other move loses for white. And he played rook to d1, and now black is lost. The engine doesn't care what black does. He's going to lose. Kasparov hastened his defeat. He played d4, which is very bad according to the engine, but it's tricky. So, okay, and then g6 and d3, and king e3 is winning, and g7 is also winning. Rook takes d3 is also winning. Okay, but he played king e3. That's fine. And Kasparov played after king e3. Rook takes f2 was played. Kasparov hit the clock, and Kasparov said, "Your flag is down." And everybody thought Yasser lost on time because they weren't keeping score, and they didn't think they made it to move 60. They thought this was move 58 or 59, and Yasser lost the game. And they recreated the game score sheets, and they both realized that white has made 61 moves, and Yasser gets more time on his clock. And during the game, when Yasser's time ran out, he and Kasparov both thought that Kasparov won on time. Neither one of them thought they had made the time control because they hadn't written down the last few moves. This is an 86, so it's not like the games are shown on the internet, the arbiters know everything. It's an Olympiad. There's a billion games going on. So it's not like there's 4 arbiters there and know what move number it is. Eventually, they figured out what move number it was, and Yasser did not lose on time. And then Yasser played g7, and again, he dropped the mic. Yeah. And Kasparov thought and resigned. Although the engine says white's only +3, but the best line for black is to give both of these pawns away and put the rook over here, which is obviously hopeless. So, and that's like already +5. This pawn's obviously unstoppable. If you want to stop it and give all your passed pawns away, you can. Rook check and rook e8 if you want to do that. And then everything wins for white. Rook here wins, king takes wins. White's up 2 pawns and the rook is too passive. The engine likes rook e1 and rook e7. That's the engine line. But it doesn't matter. White's winning anyway. Now, if black plays more aggressively and plays like c2 to try to, make a queen or something, now rook h1 is really strong. You can't queen because my rook is here. You can't stop me from queening. So you have to play this move to, make it interesting. And unfortunately, whichever pawn you queen, you're going to get mated. The queen and the rook just mate the king. And the best move according to the engine, recommended by Nakamura, is this move. Check. And then the engine says, if you play here, here, or here, white has forced mate. But that lasts the longest. So after g7, Kasparov thought a while and resigned, and it is lost. I don't think that was an issue of Kasparov playing too crazy for the win. I think Kasparov just played like Kasparov. Both of them had no time. And when time trouble ended, Yasser won. The U.S. beat the Soviet Union. Go Yasser. And as you all know, Kasparov was the reigning world champion when Yasser beat him. And Karpov was the reigning world champion in the previous game that Yasser won. Yeah. That's right. Knight. Yeah. That's right. This was a fun game. This was the Olympiad board 1 to see, which superpower wins the Olympiad, although it wasn't the U.S. Now, as you all know, this is the Olympiad where there was a secret illegal romance between John Donaldson and Elena Akhmilovskaya. And they escaped. So they went to the airport to fly back to the U.S. during the Olympiad. So John Donaldson left the Olympiad during the Olympiad. He was the team captain. But, the Russians had the Russians there, KGB or whatnot. So actually, Yasser told me, this is many years ago, the U.S. team escorted them to the airport. In case there was trouble, there were 8 or 9 adults there. And it was in Dubai, so what's the KGB going to do? And Akhmilovskaya and Donaldson got on a plane and flew back to the U.S. And she defected to the U.S. and later married John Donaldson. That was that event. God damn. Yeah. No going to sleep. Ridiculous. Yeah. And they remained married. Yeah. Yeah, that I don't want to talk about the rest of the story. There is no rest of the story. Anyway, Elena died a few years ago, R.I.P. Later, she married Orlov, should be a grandmaster, but he's an IM, I think. But Orlov has been grandmaster strength for 30 years. I don't know why he's not a grandmaster. When people said I was the strongest IM in the U.S. or the strongest IM in the world, all that nonsense, 20, 30 years ago, Orlov was probably better than me. And he was in the U.S. and he was an IM. So I was never the strongest IM in the world, but you guys can believe that. That's the important thing. Yeah. Right. That's funny because last night we were watching the last season of Sunny, or the last one on Hulu, with Dolph Lundgren. Where he's Thunder, whatever, Thunderball, I don't know, something. Yeah. Etc. Go something. Let's see. Yeah, buy merch. Do it. Thunder Gun, that's it. Yeah. Thunderball's funnier. Thunderball's a real movie. Yeah. That's right. Eric Andre show's good. Spencer knows a lot about that. Dolph Lundgren was in Logan's Run? Maybe. What's happening with the Steelers and the Giants? That's what they're called. Snake Oil Scrub gifted 2 subs. Hooray. Not Ravens. Steelers won. Yeah. So I have a question. Yesterday, was the end of the Lions game more Lions-like, or was the end of the Bengals game more Bengals-like? Or as the guy on TV called them, the Bungles. That's a good name. Yay, Steelers win by 10. Covering the spread. I like that. Bengals for sure, Lions for sure. Right after it. No, but like the Browns just played bad the whole game like the Browns do. So that was very Browns-like. The Bengals missed a 31-yard field goal to tie the game, and the Lions were catching the ball in the end zone to win the game with nobody near the guy, and he caught it and dropped it with like 5 seconds left. Also, the Lions were outscored in the fourth quarter 21-0 to lose by like 4 points or 3 points or something. I mean, either game was, yeah. I know the Lions never been to the Super Bowl. I do not know who the other team is. I do not know. Right, the Bengals would have tied the game with a field goal. The Lions guy, it was hard not to catch that ball. I mean, it was right in his hands. He was in the end zone. And there's nobody there. Man, it was hard not to catch that. Damn. Yeah. Be acquired by Toyota. You're from Georgia. I live in Georgia. I'm from Detroit. Yeah. It was brutal. All right. Yeah. Let's see. I could show another game. Nah, that's enough. Don't want to show long, boring games. When I could show end with Kasparov. Hooray. So the engine is now at depth 40, and it says white is plus 7.52. And actually, it says after C2 or rookie 2 in this position, white is winning. But any other move, white has forced mate in 11 or quicker. So if black wants to last 11 moves or more, he's got to go here or here, and then white is plus 7.5. Mr. Soman, subscribe. Go Ben. So my question is it time for another train? Or it's not. Probably it's not. No, I guess we can't have another train. Boo. I've played Yasser 3 times. The first time, I lost a draw and ending in like 2 moves. I like blundered into mate. No, that was the second time. No, that was the first time. The second time was the U.S. Championship in Salt Lake City. It was the first time they had used increment in the tournament, in any tournament. And the arbiter set our clock wrong. It was round 1. We weren't getting increment. And on move 9, 10, and 11, I was looking at other games. Everybody had a lot more time than us. And I was like, what's going on? And when you have a 30-second increment, about half the time, when you make a move, the minute, you get another minute. So if you have like 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 40 seconds, you don't see the seconds. It'll go from 145 to 146 because you got 30-second increment. We never went up when I was watching. So since our times never went up a minute and everybody had more time than us, I concluded our clocks weren't set right. So I went to the director, who was Carol Jarecki, and I said, I don't think our clocks were set right. And she stopped our clock and fooled with it forever. And she said, yeah, they weren't. She said they didn't put increment in our game. It was round 1. So she fixed the clock and I offered a draw because we both had very little time. I moved like 12. We were playing really slow. And he accepted. So that was like a 12-move draw where our clock was broken. Then I played him again in the U.S. Championship. We got a draw knight versus bishop ending, and I blundered and lost. So I lost 2 drawn endings, and we had a quick draw where the clock was broken. Our games weren't very exciting. But yeah, my score is pretty bad. Pretty bad. Eric Hansen, a GM, he started super late? I wouldn't say he started super late. The kid when he started. Do any GMs learn chess later than 15? No, I don't know any GMs. No, I don't have a game of mine with Yasser to show, no. Chestnut Bomb subscribe, hooray. All right, now as is customary in our streams, before I leave, somebody has to donate like 50 subs. I'm not sure why, it's customary. I'll wait. It's the waiting is the hardest part. Let's see, did I spell his name right? It looks wrong, but I think it's right. 50 from Trying Not to Learn. Hooray! Do I hang out with Yasser outside of chess? Well, Yasser lives in the Netherlands, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So, no. But next time he's in Atlanta, we will hang out. Yeah. No, Twitchy forgot to add the 0. Yeah. He started at 999. Live stream your chess friend hangouts. Thaddeus gifted 5 subs. Yay, it was a typo, but I still approve. Thanks, Thaddeus. You're the best. You've gifted 108 subs in the channel. Good, good. Go, Thaddeus. Every day, 1 million. Hey, you got first place over Twitchy and Basic Pract. Very sneaky of you. Good job. 200 centidues. Pinky Jim, 77. Trying to Learn says, move to England. Automatic GM title. Very suspicious, but true. Go Ben, this time for real. That's right. Well, I have to wait for all your, bling, like that. Yeah. Go Yasser, but stay there. All right, don't forget to watch Yasser tomorrow on the St. Louis Chess Club YouTube and Twitch channels because they're having live coverage of the St. Louis Blitzen Rapid with all those super GMs that played in the last tournament. Sans Kasparov, but, with Jeffrey Zhang. Let's see what else happened. Nothing happened? No. All right, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. All right, see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock. I'll be on Chess TV tomorrow, so we'll have 1 billion viewers. And don't forget to sign up for the class tomorrow that Spencer's teaching. I'll post on, Twitter and Discord and all that stuff. And don't forget,